All right, picking up where we left off here, people. Yeah, Helmer's like, what? Oh, I don't want to talk to you about serious things, Nora. What do you know about serious things? Ooh. There we have it. You've never understood me. I've had great injustice done to me, Torvald, first by my father and then by you. What? By your father and me? By us who have loved you more than all the world? You never loved me. You only thought it amusing to be in love with me. So he liked the idea of being in love with her, but he never was. You hear people say that a lot. I don't really know what that means. I guess I do, but... Why, Nora, what a thing to say. She says, yeah, well, it is a thing to say. While I was at home with my father, he used to tell me all his opinions, and I held the same opinions. She marries a guy just like her dad. If I had others, I said nothing about them because he wouldn't have liked it. He used to call me his doll child and played with me as I played with my dolls. Then I came to live in your house. I passed my father's hand into yours. You arranged everything according to your taste, and I got the same tastes as you. So this is not a marriage of equals, right? This is not a marriage of equals. It's what makes this, one of the many things that makes this a feminist play. Ibsen is arguing for women to be treated equally. Yeah. Moving along, yes. Yeah, and then she's gonna walk out, and he says, you're going to forsake one of your holiest duties, your home, your husband, and your children? He says, it's monstrous. And some of you agree that her leaving her kids is monstrous. And I can't really argue against that, though our author wants you to feel differently, as we talked in class about that. He says, before all else, you are a wife and a mother. She says, that I no longer believe. Now, that's a hot discussion we could have in class. Not an interesting discussion. The woman's married and has children. Is her duty to her husband, if she's married to a man, her husband and her children above herself? And I think some people would argue she has a duty to her children above herself. Of course, hopefully those same people would argue that a man has a duty to his children above himself, right? It's not just the woman. That's often, sometimes how it works out, but not always. Okay, so she's got her bag packed. She's changed her dress. She's ready to go, right? She's out of there. They have a ceremonial I call it a D or exchanging of rings, right? She pulls her ring off. He pulls his off, and they hand them back to each other. And that sort of symbolizes the end of their marriage. However, he does make a case, though. He says, I have the strength to become another man. So this is why I don't encourage students to beat up on Torvald. This is a play about a social problem, a problem of treating women as second-class citizens. This is not a play about a bad husband. He's a man of his time. Because here he is thinking about changing. I have the strength to be another man. And she says, maybe when your doll's taken away from you. And he's like, no, I can't think of that. No, Nora, wait till tomorrow. I can't spend another night in this strange man's house. But can't we live here as brother and sister? But sometime, Nora, well, maybe, she's got to be free, though. She's got to be free. She says, don't even write to me. And at the end of the play, he is sort of sitting sunken down in the chair, muttering to himself, the miracle of miracles. He just doesn't get it, but he's actually trying to get it. I think he's actually trying to get it, and for that, I give him a great deal of credit. So let's do a little wrap up here. Pardon the awkward camera work. Let's just do a little wrap up. Let the camera refocus. So, couple themes in the play, and then I'll get to the big one. Suffering for the sins of the father. Rank suffers for the sins of his father's sexual transgressions, and dies from it, suffers for it. Nora suffers for the sins of her father by not raising her to be a strong, independent woman. And that's a good theme. Two much more closely associated themes: an overemphasis on appearances. Right, Torvald's main concern is what other people are going to think, and that's terrible. But very common in middle and upper class society in this time period, and way too common today. I've almost completely given up caring what other people think, and it's great. You do things right and you be good to people because you should be good to people. You don't do it so you look good, right? You don't do it so you look good. So I'm very happy I've almost completely given up on caring about what other people think of me, as evidenced by most of the things I do and say in this class. So, the most important theme: this is a feminist play. Ibsen is arguing for the equal treatment of women. Nora is treated like a child. Society does not allow her to borrow money without a man's co-signing. It would be improper for her to work at all as a middle and upper class woman. And she eventually chooses her independence. She realizes her life is second rate, and it's just not good for anyone. It's not good for anyone, for the kids or for her husband, for her to be acting like a second class citizen, and she leaves. Very empowering moment. Also, don't forget Christine Lind, the very modern woman that she is. She's gonna bring home the bacon she's gonna bring home the bacon, and Nils is gonna fry it up in a pan. So that is sort of the ultimate modern couple, according to Ibsen, and many people agree. Most importantly, they're doing what they each want to do. So let's just hit the pause button there. I don't care if a woman wants to stay home and raise the kids and bake cookies while the man works, and that's both what they think is best and they're good at, and that's what they want, fine. But society shouldn't be telling people to do that, right? So at the end, Christine is going to work and Nils is staying at home, and they're both fine with that. Is it the best way? It is for them, right? Whenever there are these societal norms, pressures, heck, laws, governing people's lives, it's not going to go well because it takes away our freedom to be us, right? Especially societal norms. It takes away our freedom to be us. And of course, we're living in a time, at least in New York State where we live, of a much greater acceptance of gay and lesbian people. When I first started teaching 25 years ago, it was not this way. And certainly when I was a kid, it wasn't. Now it's legal in all 50 states for same-sex people to get married. No doubt there's still a ways to go for that, but that's changed a lot. And looking back, I'm like, that was stupid. Why does anybody care what someone else does with their romantic life? And that's really nobody else's business, and it's certainly not a threat, but what can I say? So with that said, whenever there are societal norms that inhibit someone from fully being themselves, it's bad. Now, of course, societal norms like being polite, that's good. I mean, they're not all bad, right? They're not all bad. But certainly having anybody treated like a second-class citizen, like women have been for hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of years, is not good. So it is very much a feminist play. Christine and Nils are sort of the heroes of the play at the end. They're living with the man at home and the woman going to work because that's what they're each happy with. Nora walks out to find her independence. Again, you can be critical of her for leaving the kids. That's your business. But Ibsen wants us to go, you go, girl. So great play, easy to follow, but then also some details I helped you realize, and a very important theme. Women have come a long way. We're celebrating 100 years in America of women being able to vote. Now, many women had to go on hunger strikes, be abused in jail, fight, fight, fight for that right to vote. So you better be voting this fall, men and women, because people nearly died for the right for women to do that. So that's very important. But we've come a long way. There's still a long way to go. Women don't earn as much money as men. There's still a lot of discrimination out there, but we've come a long way, and we need to just always keep reading this play and remind ourselves that yes, we are all equal. So there you have it. There's A Doll's House. Thanks, folks, and we will see you around.